Sounds good, hon. Hi.
I forgot to set our fucking goal for our 50 goal or whatever, but it starts out at $1, okay? Just like it did last time. So if we did 50 of them for $1, that's $50. So, fuck you, Josh.
Lab After Dark is starting soon.
But
Do you need some color in your life?
Right.
I was actually just sitting down to pee, but whatever, you know.
The lab is my boss.
Well, you opened that Pandora's door.
The lab is my boss.
What's the point in causing any ruffles to be feathered?
I was actually just sitting down to pee, but whatever, you know.
Suck a muffin.
Run a sausage. What's the point in causing any ruffles to be
Right.
feathered?
The lab is my boss.
Well, you opened that Pandora's door.
Lab After Dark is starting soon. Suck a muffin.
Run a sausage.
Right.
Run a sausage.
Well,
Run
you
a
opened that
sausage.
Pandora's door.
What's the point in causing any ruffles to be feathered?
Right. 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 Right.
I was actually just sitting down to pee, but whatever, you know.
Suck 'em up.
What's the point in causing any ruffles?
Well, you opened that Pandora's door.
What's happening? Welcome to Lab After Dark. And it is absolutely after dark. There's no question about it. So good to see you guys. Hopefully this microphone works a little better tonight, so I'm not taping anything to my hand that shouldn't be taped to my hand. I don't know if you caught the show last night, but what happened? I ended up taping a microphone to my hand for the better part of an hour because I was tired of holding it. I know. Wow, Josh, how lazy of you. Da. You know what? It doesn't matter because I did it. I conquered. And sometimes, you know, I mean, I did, though. It happened. I absolutely did. It was a great show. Hey, what's up, everybody? Good to see you guys. Let me see here. Samantha Joy, good to see you. Gifted, thank you for the 2 memberships. That's so kind of you. Forget Me Not 5 Lab After Dark memberships. It's very kind. Thank you so much. You guys are too good to me. And then what do we got here? We got Muscles coming in with 50 Lab After Darks. We're shaking the bushes. Yeah. All right, keep looking out for the haters. What up? Do I have haters? I have haters. I don't think my haters watch me though. I don't think they do. I think they got other things to watch. They got Brittany to watch. I'm just kidding. I do have haters. Sorry, Brittany. I was just kidding. God, topic of discussion. Talk shit because they love us. Shake them. Shake the bushes. Hey, guys, that is just too much. And Jovi, thank you for the super sticker. Let me get the highlighted chat up here. We're gonna talk a little bit. Apparently, everybody's pissed off at each other again. I don't know how that happens, and I'm going to react to a stream earlier. I'm not going to be mean or bully anybody. I'm just gonna do what it is that I do, and I still haven't quite figured that out yet. But I'm not like instinctually, I'm not a mean person, if that makes any sense. I can be mean, I guess, but it's not exactly in my, I would say, repertoire. By the way, happy birthday, Macho, my little macho man. He is 7 years old today. I have no idea how long I've had him. It feels like I don't know, 100 years. So it feels like a long time. But Macho Man, 7 years old. He peed on Otis today. That's a true story. They like to pee on this same shrub. You know, they do it all the time. And but usually Otis lets him go first. And that today didn't work out. Because Otis wanted to go first. So he did. And then Macho was like, I'm gonna pee there. And he peed on him. And Otis, being the genius that he is, just sat there and finished his pee. And one of the funniest things, and we'll get into, you know, we got time. We're just starting. We got time. I feel like you know, my intro is me talking. It's the 4 minutes that you get of music is nothing. We got time. We'll get there. You know, we'll get there. He's barking right now. I can hear him. It's pissing me off already. I can hear him through the wall. Come back. Yeah. But anyway, so he pees on him. But that's just what he pees on him. And Otis, before Macho got here, I just said, how long have I had him? I've had Macho for just over 2 years now. And just over 2 years. He's great. He loves me. I love him. I was told when I get him to not get in his face because he doesn't like it. I said, tough skis, shit skis. I'm getting in his face. And then he said, well, he'll probably bite you because he's an angry fella. I get him home the first night. I was like, I'm not going to. Second day, I grabbed him very gently behind his ears. And I looked at him and I said, I'm coming in for the real thing, brother. And I said, and if you bite me, it's okay. I understand. And I looked him in the eyes. And then you could hear the song, the Titanic song, start playing. Near, far, wherever you are, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, dude. And I start getting close. And I said, I'm kissing you because I love you. Welcome to the family, brother. Near, far, wherever you are. And he's like showing his teeth, like, you know, like, I'm going, it's going to be all right. This is what stitches are for. This is what stitches are for, buddy. And I got him. I got a hold of him and I took his fat little face and I kissed him. And when I went back, he was looking at me like this. And I said, I love you, buddy. Welcome to the family. And he did not bite me. That time. The next time he did. The first time he didn't know what was going on. Yeah. Ghostface says, Josh, sometimes your story doesn't click me. I don't know what that means. Doesn't click you? It doesn't? All right, well, that's fine. I'm sorry my story doesn't click you. I really... Who'd have known? Who'd have known? No, he didn't bite me. He never bit me. Matter of fact, I think at that exact moment, he's like, I loved you. I love you. And I think that at that moment, and now it's just like, I just go up to him all the time and I just get right in his fat little face. And I go, and he gets all excited. He wiggles his butt and then he runs to his toy. And, yeah, we're buds, man. Straight up and down. He's a good guy. He's like a little baby. It doesn't click with me. I don't know what that means. You don't like the story? That's all right. You don't have to. You don't have to even listen. I mean, I like you. We're all friends here. You know? I don't need a cigarette. No, I'm just saying, you know. But him and his little, I almost said Justin. I don't know why. The snoring and slobbering. Oh, my God. Sometimes I have to tell him, hey, stop. Like, you're being too loud. And he looks at me like, frig off, dude. So, I don't know. But yeah, he's like my favorite little guy, him and Otis. Him and Otis are the best of friends. And they drive me nuts. But if I didn't have them, you know, I wouldn't know what to do. And happy birthday, Macho Man. You are a precious member of this family. Even though I watched him throw up the other day, and then he proceeded to try to clean it up himself, and I said, that's just never going to happen. And then I brushed his teeth in front of the mirror, too, which is, I have this toothbrush. It's like peanut butter flavored toothpaste. And like I was holding him like this, and I was brushing his teeth. And he's like, yeah. Yeah, on his birthday. What happened to Ghostface? Ghostface don't like my story? They're French bulldogs. They're French bulldogs. I'll have to bring them out. It's just like dealing with them is a lot. They're just, you know, they're something else. All right. I thought, you know, I honestly thought that Ghost might. I went into this thinking like, Ghost is here, and I hope this story clicks. It didn't, but that's how I started this stream. Was that I figured that I thought this may click with Ghost, but it didn't, and I'm sorry. I had the best of intentions, and so next time I'll tell you a story about when my friend lit his fart on fire, and then maybe that'll click with you, and how my other friend had to karate chop him on the ass to put it out. That's a true story. And I'm not even kidding. I sat there and watched the whole thing. Like, I saw a blue flame on his underwear. Like they were like white boxer briefs, completely white. Well, I don't know if they're completely white, but they were, at the end, they were on fire. But is that a better one? You like that one, my man? Ghostface, where did you go? Come back. I got a good story for you. I have a great story for you, buddy. Maybe this one will click. You like that one? Oh, all right. Well, I tried. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, Ghost. Sorry. I'll try and up my story game. But yeah, it was like the blue flame, like the really hot. My friend, for some reason, Earl, is he Earl? Is that Earl? Is Ghost Earl? Son of a bitch. All right, hold on here. The story didn't click. What are you gonna do? Sometimes stories, it just doesn't, you know. sometimes. Yeah, they weren't. I don't personally. ICU. I don't think they were that tidy or that whitey, but that's what they were. And yeah, I don't know. So we were in high school, and I'm going to say high school because it's better than telling you that we were 24 and this was right before, you know, Super Bowl 43. And so this was in high school, and I was sitting on the couch. I was sitting, like, we were in this like garage with a concrete floor because, you know, my friends are real winners. And it was a really weird room because there were like 3 couches, but it wasn't a room. It was a garage, but there was 3 couches. 2 of them were back to back, and then one was turned the other way. And then there was a bed in the corner that my friend slept on. And he's like, do you guys want to come over and hang out? And I was like, all right, I guess. And the fact of the matter is, when he invited us, he's like, can you guys help me straighten up? Because, I mean, the place was an utter disaster. It looked like it wasn't like, it kind of looked like a farmer's market in like Kuwait, maybe, or Bosnia, maybe. You know, I mean, it wasn't great. There was some wicker baskets around and stuff. So we were trying to help him, you know, set it up. But, and when I got there, my friend was actually raking the room. Like, he had a rake, and no, but that reminds me, I don't want to waste these stories if Ghost isn't here. I'm for the audience, people. And apparently Ghost, for some reason, doesn't want anything, you know, one dog kissing story, and then he's gone. Son of a bitch. Come back. All right, highlighted chat. Yeah, who cares? It's all right, dude. All right, so anyway. My friend just thought, for some reason, that trying to light a fart on fire was going to not work or something. And I said, I'm sure it would. And so he says, Brad. Or first he asked me, he's like, will you light it? And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So then he's like, Brad, will you? And immediately Brad says, yes, sure, I'll do it. You know, he's like, hey, Josh, we do it? I said, no. Brad, yes. Okay, there you go. Gets down on all fours. You know, gets down on all fours and proceeds, you know, he holds the lighter up, and it happened. He set his underwear on fire, and I think his ass. And then Brad freaked out and started going like this to put it out. And I mean, he was karate chopping him. And I just sat there like this. So, and the weird thing was that that's how we watched. Yeah, that's how he ended up watching the rest of the Super Bowl. But the funny thing was when he was raking out from raking under the bed, and that's what he was doing. Like he took a rake and he was raking out stuff. There was a tray that was under the bed. Like it was like a cheese platter tray that was basically empty, I think. Or if it wasn't empty, I'm sure the rats got the rest of it. But I remember I had brought that tray over the Super Bowl before. So it had been under there an entire year. So, you know. Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't like that, you know. No, it wasn't a charcuterie board, but yeah, it was rough. I tell you, I was freaked out by the whole thing. But yeah, the cheese was gone. Everything, it was all gone. It was disturbing. Yeah, I know. This was years ago. He's married and has a family now, thank God. And you know, it's kind of like the rib in the pocket. I'm just saying that's what I thought. I don't know. I couldn't explain it to you. This place, it was a disgusting place to be. But he was my friend, and what was I going to do? I mean, I wanted to hang out with him, so we raked his room. It was nice and tidy. The couch situation was weird because the TV was on the wall facing that way, but there was 2 couches. And there was only like 4 of us, 2 couches facing that way. And then the other couch facing the opposite way. And he sat on the back one. So I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know what he was looking at. But, you know. Anyway, Ghost, was that one any better? What about, you want me to tell you about the time that we almost lit that same exact garage on fire? Ghost, you there? And want me to tell you how we put it out? It's one of the craziest stories that I've ever been a part of. It had happened too. I'll save that for you, Ghost. Yeah, Ghost is gone, dude. He's bummed. He didn't like my story about kissing Macho. Sometimes your stories just don't. What are you talking about? Me like loving my dog, going, I love you, pup, I love you, guy. You didn't like that one? You didn't like the love story, you know, of how I adopted this dog that was, you know, probably on euthanasia's door, you know, and just telling him, look, buddy, coming in for the real thing. I'm kissing you, and that's just life, you know. What's up, Deets? Deets said that, you know, it's actually funny because I just renewed my subscription to GeoGuessr, so there will be some GeoGuessr going on here too. But, you know, whatever. The garage story. The other garage story. This one we were actually kids, and I've actually told this story before, but so it was me, my friend, and his older brother, and for some reason we were playing around in the garage, and we put some gasoline in like a bowl, like it was a glass bowl, and we poured gasoline into it, and then my friend took a match and threw it into the bowl. It catches on fire instantly because it's gasoline. I don't know. We honestly, at this age, we were probably like 12. I have no idea why we did it. And I mean, there's no good explanation for it. But the thing, it exploded. And the fire spread on the ground. And my friend, the little brother just starts losing it, freaking out. You know, I mean, because, you know, we're in a garage that's on fire. And what happened was he starts peeing on it. And he gets a good portion of it out. And then his brother started peeing on the rest of it, or what was left of it. And he put a good portion of it out. And then I had to pee on it and to completely extinguish the fire. I don't know. I mean, desperate times. And I'm glad that we were hitting the apple juice hard that day. You know, we were hitting we had some Gatorades down and stuff, but it was a lot of pee. Yeah. It was gross. You know, what are you going to do? Yeah, what are you going to do? I mean, hey, Ghost, did you like that story? No? All right. I know, whatever. What am I going to do? Urine puts out gasoline fire. Well, the funny thing is that if this would have happened, 20 years later, that it was just the concrete that was on fire. So it would have went out. It wasn't like spreading up the wall or anything. But we just freaked out. We didn't know. We had no idea. Yeah, we didn't know what was going to happen. And so that's what happened, It happened. Now, as kids, we didn't know that was going to happen. But it was something, I'll tell you. Okay. All right. Let's get into why can't we all just get along? I know the answer to that because we are all insane. Every last one of us. Well, I think so. On some level, I know that I am. I know that I'm mental. And but, I think that we could get along. I think. Hold on here. Aw, thank you. Well, that's very kind of you. If that story doesn't click, this may not be for you. You must be made of copper and tellurium because you're QT. Oh, I get it. I don't know what tellurium is. What is that? I don't know what is that? Tellurium? Okay. All right, let's just do this. Oh, I saw it. Well, yeah, but I didn't know what it is. Sweet Soul says tonight's topics: dog throw up, farts, and urine. What about fire? Don't forget gasoline fires. That was bad news. It was bad news, man. Yeah, we're all nuts, I guess. I don't know. All right, so I don't know. I want to preface this by saying that I don't have anything against this lady. I've seen her show. I've never seen like a full show of hers, but I know she's tagged me in some stuff before. And I know that she gets just pounced on. I've seen that. So I'm not going to do any. I don't want to do that. And I don't want people to be like really mean. I don't want people to be mean in the chat, and you guys can mock yourselves, I guess. But or me, have it at me. But I'm just curious. I started. People were like, "What the hell is it?" And I don't know. I'm sure Justin did something terrible, and pissed her off, and then I'm sure that Tony. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. Can I mock Nunya? I mean, I'd prefer if you didn't, but I know you guys are kind of close. So you can. All right. So the lady's name is Julie Skolnick. That's her channel. And I'm gonna attempt to talk about this. I'm gonna do my best. I'll do my best. All right, let's do it. I mean, if you want, Deets and Nunya, I mean, you guys can mock each other if you want. That's fine. I don't care. First of all, I want to say that I dig the glasses. The lights in the back are giving me I like the lights in the back. The lights in the back are nice. It's good stuff. And so, all right, here we go. It's the weather. What is going on? I better have my helmet. All right, here we go. No idea who this is. She covers the Sebastian Rogers case. I think she's a local, but I think she's mad, but I don't know. I don't know what she's mad about. I haven't seen this. I've seen just from what I was told. too much. Black doorknobs are cool. She's not local? Okay. I don't friggin' know, dude. Whatever. Here we go.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
What's up?
Can you put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me? I don't want to start talking without knowing my microphone is working.
It's working. Good to go. What are we doing here?
Am I on?
You're on. She's on, baby.
Bueller. Bueller. Hey, Mandy Moo. Can you hear me okay? Can you put a...
The Bueller joke, not just from her, but I could do without it. I hear it an awful lot from an awful lot of people.
1 in the chat, do you mind? Knoxville. Callie, you can hear me okay? Put a 1 in the chat. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Wait.
What you want? What's the she had one of her and her husband. Was it good?
What? And Casey and everybody and Sheila. Sounds good, hon. Hi, sweet Julie. Hi, Susie. Hi, Cindy and Cassie.
All right.
But it was important. We started out with a award show that turned into a revelation about.
Should we watch the husband one first? What's that one about? Can somebody tell me what that's about? Is that funny? Can I do something with that? Dude, the bun's dope. I mean, it is. I like Ghost Josh. Ooh. 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 I can't give you a breakdown of what happened because I don't know. I have no friggin' idea. All right. All right, we're switching gears here. Hold on. All right, let's do that. That's true. I could do something with a ham sandwich. I'd smash that thing. God, now I want a ham sandwich. The only one I see is an hour, but let me see here.
Said. One more question, allegedly innocent. One more question.
Oh, shit. Where's the one with her husband? I think she deleted it. Where'd it go?
What? Queen Beast part.
Oh, does she talk to him on the phone? I'm so confused. Short story, she flipped on Justin. All right, send, yeah, if you would. I think it's gone. Because the one that I see is one from 3 hours ago. Yeah, I think it's gone. Okay. All right. Back to the original.
thumbnail, which is called if you didn't see my thumbnail, take a look at it. I'll show you a picture.
Take
of it.
a look at my thumbnail. She's the only one I got.
It's called.
That's all right. No worries. We're very I wasn't gonna say gender fluid. We're fluid here, you know. It's an evolving show. Yeah, it's live. We're live.
My friend Harley wrote in. Harley, if you're on here, hey Kathy and Lady Roses.
Now I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not bashing. This is not a bash session. It's just not gonna be that. I don't know this lady. I don't know anything about her. I've seen people go at her before, and I'm not like, that's not what I'm doing here. I'm just curious what happened. And so, and maybe somewhere, maybe I'll realize something, and I will heal these people of whatever's ailing them. I will be the great unifier here, hopefully. That's my goal. Don't expect it to happen, but that's my goal.
If you didn't see my thumbnail,
The Saboteur of Sumner County, Tennessee. Sebastian. Oh, I'm helping. That's what I'm here to do. I'm all about helping.
I called it The Saboteur.
I don't know where to. I'm like a. I don't know where to even start here. I mean, this is a hell of a starting place.
Of Sumner County, Tennessee. Detective Brandon Carter. Your Sebastian Rogers tips go poof. Your Sebastian Rogers tips go poof. Now, I've asked you guys before.
I've worked really hard on thumbnails too. They never seem to satisfy me though.
I saw that, Callie. Thank you very much. I saw it.
I seen it.
Lady Rose is in Wisconsin. Have you ever heard that SF Investigates is from Wisconsin originally?
God.
Do you know anything about that? I would love to know. I don't know if that's true or not, but I would love to know.
I'm sure her and SF get along well.
And Kathy saying hi to mods in chat.
Okay, let's go.
All the tips regarding Sebastian Rogers, since it was assigned to one detective, Detective Brandon Carter, you have had to, hey Rita, you've had to reach out to Brandon Carter in Sumner County, if you're not calling TBI, let's say, to give him your tip.
Yeah.
You could do it two ways. You could do it via the phone number, probably leave a voicemail. The way is to email him. Poster.
You guys, I'm telling you.
Hey, Joanne from
I'm gonna
Upstate.
heal this situation.
I hope things are nice there. Is it warm there? I'm coming to the Catskills soon.
I'm gonna heal this. I'm
coming to the
You
Catskills, and I hope I have some warm weather in April. Of course, I have to serve jury duty first.
Oof, that's tough.
Actually, I did two. I did one in the morning, which started as an award show, and then I did one really late last night.
You.
Actually, took a nap
2 times
right
the speed.
after.
I'm not doing the whole thing.
Kind of
It's a
distraught.
friggin' 3.5 hour live. I'm not reviewing the whole thing. Get me to the juicy part so I can heal.
Or call Blanche. Well, you're about as likely to receive a return phone call from Blanche as you are from Detective Carter, in my opinion.
All right, so she's got a problem with Detective
who
Carter.
Is listening,
this has nothing to do with me.
In this live, has ever spoken to Detective Carter on the phone when you had a tip, or received a call back or an email back from Detective Carter?
All right. So okay. So she's upset because she calls in tips or emails tips and never gets a response. Okay.
Please put, it's about 40 degrees today, 60 yesterday. Oh, nice. Well, I hope it warms up for April. You know, we can have weird weather in April. If you've ever received a call back, it doesn't have to be a long call. It could have been, hey, I got your message or something like that. Or let me know more.
Hold on. Stupid phone. Hold on. I'm looking at my messenger. Hold on. I got you. Cool. Thank you. Let's listen to a little bit of this. I do have some holy water here.
About it, whatever he said to you on the phone, or if you received an email back to set up a time to talk, or just an acknowledgement of an email tip. Can you please put a number 4 in the chat? Number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 in the chat. If you've ever spoken to Detective Carter, if you ever called him with a tip, email with a tip, and received some communication back from Detective Carter, any type of communication back, please put a 4 in the tip. 58 in Knoxville today. Beautiful. 80 on Tuesday and Wednesday. We had 80 degrees. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's lovely. Lady Rosa says, I've been saying someone in LE is hiding stuff, tips, etc. They do not want CPKP arrested and do not want to arrest CP. Have you ever, Lady Roses, attempted to reach out to Sumner County Sheriff's Office with some information, a tip or something, where you received, on the Sebastian Rogers case I'm talking about, not like, where is the parade kind of thing. Have you ever tried to reach them, and have you ever received a call back?
No.
In upstate New York. Put a 4 in the chat. And if you're in here, like me or hate me, put a like in hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. No 4s. Okay. Put a 5 in the chat.
I mean,
ever.
What we're going to go up to an hour? Put a 17 in the chat. Put a 37. Put a 10,000 in the chat. Here we go. What the fuck is this?
Why are you protecting Ragstock? All I know is I showed the prompt picture and I was like, hot. Funny.
Can somebody explain why she wrote her email address down?
Okay, hon. Okay, Lisa. Thank you for letting me know.
She's trying to get the sheriff's office? Is that what she's doing? No, I'm not. No, I'm not being mean to anybody. I was just curious of what happened because I thought that I thought that everybody kind of got along.
Last chance, Bliss Blessings. Last chance to put yes or no and show us you have integrity. Oh, thank you, Tiffany. Auntie Tiffany. Spencer loves you too. The answer must be yes. Why are you protecting Ragstock if he called Seth a liar? If she called Seth a liar, is friends with barbecue lady that is in court against Seth. Doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. Why did you tell me that you were sending a message to the DA that I asked you to? But instead of sending the message, you didn't tell me you didn't send the message, but you called Michelle Lee and told her Julie is trying to get in touch with the DA about the officer and Ragstock who could be sabotaging the Sebastian Rogers case. You didn't send the email to the DA, but you called Michelle, and then Michelle comes in. She deletes her things on X and then comes in my chat and calls me. Somebody who's going real life on somebody. Real life? This was her real life. She was on TikTok on Barbecue Ladies Lives night after night using her own voice, her own thing. To me, if she left, maybe she's scared because you're calling her out. No, I'm just asking her to say yes or no. Don't hang out with them, in my opinion, barbecue lady. Yeah.
No, there's. I haven't said one mean thing. I'm not saying anything mean. I'm just curious what's going on. Let me live.
All right. You have integrity. I just want to be sure. Everyone, she wants you to know she's got integrity, but she won't answer this.
But I just see a lot of like people going over her a lot, and are pretty mean. And I've seen her upset, so I'm just kind of curious what's going on here. That's it.
And she knows who she is. I'm not entertaining this. I know who I am. I am out. Hope all have a blessed day.
Where does this shit even start? I don't even see it.
Those who know me and my character. That's all that matters. Okay? I read it to her. I read you her thing. Okay? I read you her thing. And she wouldn't tell us how it is that they knew Ragstock's phone number to give it to her, who wanted to talk to me, to discourage me from contacting the DA about her and her officer boyfriend after she called Seth a liar and said she's going to the things. I'll replay those later. Okay. I know who I am. I know I have integrity. So anyway, so Michelle came in my live that time after she put that list out that probably Tony, I believe, in my opinion, theoretically, had her put out just for the purpose of keeping me off of it. And then the two of them came in my chat the same day. And Michelle was kind of hostile a little bit, but, listened. And then Bliss Blessings was in there, and she was trying to be like more of a mediator, right, with Michelle on that date after that. And she reached out to me after, and we talked. And I asked her, I said, could you try to get in touch with Tony? I want to talk to Tony. I want him to know that I am not trying to hurt anybody, that I'm putting up the petition because I care about seeing that people who abuse autistic children are brought to justice. And Bliss Blessings told me that she did try to reach out to Tony I have no way of verifying if she did. And then recently, when I asked her again if she did, she said she did, and that Tony didn't respond to her about it. I don't know. I don't know what to think. I'm not understanding. And I became friends with my friend Castle and Bliss Blessings. And I want to say you're proud. Oh my goodness, this is so sweet. I like to read sweet ones because Chris says, I want to say how proud I am of you, Julie. You have morals, you have a heart, you are making a.
All right, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this one more time. I'm not saying anything mean. I'm not talking bad. People are allowed to have their opinions. That's it. So simmer down. Just calm down. Everything's going to be fine. I promise. I promise it's going to be fine. All right? Just relax. Please.
Difference, and you're a true leader to help us find Sebastian. Yeah, thank you. And I have a plan today, so please stay tuned. And if you haven't if you're in my chat and you haven't written down my email, please write it down because you'll need it today. I'm going to ask people for something, so you need it today. So write it down: skolnik@gmail.com. And whenever you write to me, make sure you identify yourself by your screen name.
First of all, this lady's never done anything to me. I have nothing against her. I don't know anything about her. What I heard was that she was up. She got upset at Justin and Tony, and I'm curious. I want to know what it is. I didn't watch anybody's show, and you can watch it with me or you could not. And then, I mean, that's just really how it is. All right.
So I know it's you. I know who I'm talking
Everybody
to. I know who my regular friends are on here. Thank you, Chris. That means so much to me. It really does. They deleted my eyes. Dilated your eyes this morning. The doctor is seeing double. No problem, sweetheart. Oh, I hate when they do that. Thank you, YouTuber. Holly, are you all right? It's very hard when, I was friends with her. Castle and I were talking about going to Texas and having a girls' trip.
That'd be fire.
And meeting up with Bliss Blessings. That's how nice she's been to me. That's how nice.
Do a lot of people go to Texas for vacation? And I wouldn't think it. I think people probably go there for business or maybe to visit family, and I don't consider that a vacation whatsoever. Yeah.
But I was fooled.
There's a very mixed bag in the chat. I'll tell you that.
Imagine how that.
Jesus. I mean, you guys are unbelievable. Mel Wilkie, why are you playing this show? Because I want to. What else do you want? Do you need me to say anything else? Jesus Christ. None of this is can somebody tell me where to go to?
And some people took screenshots. So I have screenshots now from Rags Talk on Barbecue Ladies Lives, who was a regular panelist, whose boyfriend is there. She says, I'm going to make sure that nobody in the Sumner County Sheriff's Office talks to Seth again. And Seth's a liar.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that's fine with me. Hold on one second. Yeah. Yeah, but let me hold on. Let me bring this up really quick, and then
She's
I'll give you a call in number. Hold on. You absolutely can. That's not a problem. Hold on. Yes, Julie. Just give me a second here. Let me people like to go to Galveston? I didn't know that. All right, here. Here's the call. Here, let me drop a call in number here. Let me yeah, of course. Of course. Okay, so this number is for Julie. She is absolutely allowed to retort, or although I haven't gotten anywhere with it, but maybe we could just cut all that out because I truly am curious. So let me see here. I am a healer. Sometimes people just need to talk things out too. The one thing that I'm telling you, the one thing that I don't like is when people gang up on people, and that's absolutely not what's happening here, and that's not what's going to happen. Baba. Great. I turned the. Now you can't even see the chat colors because everything's black. God dang it. I didn't say anybody was ganging up on her sunny days, but I've seen people. I've seen people absolutely be terrible to her before. I'm not saying that this is a situation where that's happening. And whatever you think of it, I'm not joining that. I just want to, yeah, yeah, I'm trying here. Browser might prevent. Did you guys hear that? Julie, did you get the phone number, Julie? You could hear the ring. All right. Oh yeah, I got to change the chat thing. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I dropped it, but hold on. Give me 1 second, ma'am. Where's the chat box? I gotta change. For some reason, I changed it to black, and that was dumb. A dumb idea. Okay, hopefully that's better. All right, Julie. This is going into the chat. There's the what the frig? Okay. There's the number to call in. It didn't change. The chat box didn't change. God dang it. Frig. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Let's see here. Is this Julie?
This is Julie.
Can you hear me? Is there a delay?
I can hear you. I don't think there's a delay. I'm not looking at the chat, so I'll just talk to you.
Yeah, no
because
problem.
I can't see at the same time.
I'm playing your.
Thank you for letting me up.
Of course.
Thank you for.
Of course.
It's quite a surprise to see myself being played, but
well, it's probably.
I'm glad you're open to talking to me.
Well, it's probably not your typical review. I've seen people review some of your stuff before. It's pretty low down, mean stuff. Reviews.
Yeah, I would say this. I have I've been on TikTok for over 2 years. I have a lot of followers over there. I have over 70,000 followers there. All autism parents or somebody who loves somebody with autism. I myself am the parent of twins, boys who are turning 21 next month. One is level 1 autistic and one is profoundly autistic. My level 1 son is very much like Sebastian Rogers, and my profoundly autistic son will need 24/7 care for his entire life. I also have an older son from my first marriage. My interest in the case began on TikTok, talking to other autism parents who heard about the case and felt immediately invested, obviously, because we see ourselves, we put ourselves in Seth's position. God forbid, what if this was our child? Then many of my followers asked me to cover the case, and I ultimately did started covering the case. And when I'm still on TikTok, and when I came over to YouTube, I've been covering the case, and I've only been here for just over 3 months. I know it seems like longer. It feels like 3 years.
Yeah.
Today does, just alone. I have been on the daily, been the subject of multiple, let's call it hate channels, playing my videos, doing cartoons of me, saying horrific things about me, and including my children at times in it. But, I never really comment on it other than to just say, the hate channels love it when I do this or something like that.
Right.
Not to say anybody's name.
Oh, look, I've experienced my share of that. Exactly what you described
Right.
myself for quite some time. So I get it. I understand that.
But I don't know. I seem to have become a new fan favorite over on the hate channels, and I do believe that it's because I came in, with an activist mentality, with some ideas about how things could move quicker to try to get justice for Sebastian. I saw a lot of things going wrong with the Sumner County Sheriff's Department that I was very frustrated with. And I was, bold and open. And also I have, a big personality.
Mm-hmm.
I share my life, and I try to be funny too. I don't know if you've ever seen my lives.
I've seen
But,
some. I've seen mostly you get
me
reviewed.
crying.
I've seen that once or twice. But I've cried on YouTube too. So I mean, I don't
Yeah.
hold that against anybody. People are passionate and express their emotions differently. My question though is that I just when I was hearing, you were saying that people say that we should trust people, and why should we do this, or why should we trust anybody? And I guess my question would be, what else are we gonna do?
Well, I think that at this point, in my opinion, that the case with the investigation with Sumner County has been compromised really from nearly basically day one, and it's only continued to get worse.
But is that something? Is that just how you feel, or is that something that you can prove?
Well, I can prove a bunch of things. I mean, I could start with day one, the things that they let happen on the scene. They didn't protect the scene. They let Chris go for, 17 hours. They had a bias going in, trusting what the parents said immediately. And therefore, I don't think they did the extensive forensic investigation that was necessary at the time. And therefore, the scene was tainted. And then going forward, there's been almost no communication, rare, infrequent communication about literally anything, to the point where other channels like that have detectives, for example, like Duty Ron or somebody else. I'm not just, he just the first one comes to mind. But people have talked about on detective shows, let's say, that it's, even with their own hesitation to be critical of other law enforcement, that it's been weirdly quiet, like such little information coming out. And then there is people who are not being called back with tips, who call in for tips either by calls or by emails, who are not being responded to. And I'm collecting dozens of them and making, a spreadsheet to give to the DA to show literally that people are not following up with tips. Now, some people leave voicemail messages and say things like, here, I have this part of a tip, but I can't say everything in this. Can you please call me back? Nobody has to call back. They don't have to recognize, they could put an automated email to say received, to give people that sense of, hey, I have actually received your email, which would be polite. But I'm thinking of it not just on the standpoint of an arrest. I'm thinking about the case itself and the ability for Sumner County to get a conviction beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
And the fact that so many tips are going unanswered, unresponded to, and uninvestigated. I have looked myself at the budgets from the, I think they call them commissioners. They're here. We call them freeholders, right? At a county level, that they are running on a shoestring budget, that the sheriff has asked for 12 more sheriff's deputies, since he took office, and they do not have the money for it. So they don't have the manpower, they don't have the equipment to really run the type of investigation that needs to be run at this point, given all the interference by private investigators, people on the ground that he's working with, who have the ability, and also bias within the department. We have evidence that there could be sheriff's department officers, right, who could be compromised in the sense that and I saw someone in your chat said, Julie said, I called us a liar. No, I was saying that the girlfriend who went by on TikTok, went by the name Rags Talk, who was a regular panelist, I came from TikTok, on Barbecue Lady, was saying, I'm talking in the first 60 days of the case, was saying, my boyfriend is working so hard every day on this case, and she was there to set everybody straight. And she was putting things out as fact that, no, there is no videotape after midnight. And no, and Seth is a liar because he said there's videotape. It's this woman who's the girlfriend of a sheriff's officer saying that he's a liar. She was saying things like, I'm going to make sure that they, meaning Sumner County sheriff's officers, bullshitting or not, I don't know, but sometimes you could hear her boyfriend in the background, who is a sheriff's officer, as she spoke, saying, I'm going to make sure that they never talk to Seth and Tony ever again. And literally for months afterwards, that actually happened. They didn't talk to Seth and Tony. So, I think a case could be made by a defense attorney, let's say, representing somebody like the Proudfoots, that you had leads that went unanswered. You had people in the sheriff's department, perhaps, who had access to files, to evidence rooms, to passing messages that maybe didn't get passed. And maybe they passed over the one tip they had for the quote unquote real abductors, kind of deal. I, at this point, feel like I could be the defense attorney and make the case to cause reasonable doubt in any jury. That's how compromised they are.
Well, so that obviously that's how you feel about it. And I get what you're saying, right, where you're not getting any response from leads. And unfortunately, that's typical in almost any law enforcement investigation.
No, but it's not me individually. It's literally dozens.
Oh no,
I
understand. I'm not saying that they're just ignoring you. I don't know how many. Have you done a lot of cases before? Have you covered a lot of cases before?
I am not. I'm not your typical creator in the true crime universe.
What is it that you did on topic, or what is it you do?
I wanted to mention, because Mr. E did give me your email address, because I did start a series about disproving the false confessions of the torso killer.
Okay.
And something he thought you might be interested in what I'm doing, because I do live in northern New Jersey, where Richard Cottingham operated. So that's something to take a look at and talk about another time. And I am currently have a book that is about to be published on my relative, who was a famous gangster in the 20s, 30s, and 40s on Lucky Luciano's commission.
Okay.
Famous Jewish gangster. I can't say his name at this point.
Sure.
Until a month before it's produced. So I have a little bit of a foot in this world, but I'm not a true crime creator in a typical sense.
Mm-hmm. And
I'm a fan of true crime.
And so.
But I am a person who's fought for justice for autistic children, and talked about the abuse of autistic children, and especially and I wrote a book about autistic children who have lost their lives at the hands of parents and caregivers, which was really based on an NIH study over 20 years that I looked at. And I thought it was important to come here and talk about this case through the lens of autism.
Sure. Well, let me say
this. A lot of misinformation from the start about this, and continues to be to this moment, a lot of misinformation about the role autism plays in this case.
Let me just say this really quick, because I have followed a lot of cases for a lot of years, covered them, probably got too close to some of them, regrettably. And in every single case that I've ever watched, covered, listened to, there's always a sector of people that feel that either the investigation is compromised, or they think that law enforcement is lying, or they think that there's both. Okay. And it's I think that it can be a disservice to an investigation. Just, feeling that way is one thing, and knowing that it's the case is another thing. These cases can drag on, unfortunately, for years. Missing children's cases, missing people's cases can go on forever. It is very hard to find a missing person, especially if somebody put that person or child, and we're talking to Sebastian in this case, but just in general, that there is it is so hard to get evidence and to find evidence and to track these things down.
Right.
And a lot of cases that get this kind of attention, and that's what this is. I mean, this case is covered ad nauseum every day by, I would say, not dozens, but maybe more than dozens. I don't know, 50, 100 people, 100 channels. I don't know how many. It's a ton. And I'm sure that they get tips, and I understand your frustration that nobody's getting back to you. I understand.
It's not. I mean, there's so much more than that, Josh.
No, I understand. I get it.
I have to say. I mean, that's the biggest point. This is the biggest point of contention that happened today. And I am, although I was accused of being like there's some big conspiracy going on, I am not a conspiracy theorist, and I don't particularly appreciate being, that assertion being made about me. I am also, very interested in genealogy. I have built family trees on every single person involved in this case, which led me to a lot of discoveries on my own about potentially people who knew each other and made connections that the TBI has listened to my evidence that I presented to them about evidence of certain connections. I can tell you I'm doing as much as I possibly can to move this forward. But when I see a case, and in this case, where you have literally a rookie sheriff, okay, you have a rookie sheriff, you have a detective who's wet behind the ears. I also have thoroughly investigated the 4 other open cold cases in the county. One who is a man who was murdered, and they found him but don't know his killer. And then 3 women who are missing. And I say to people, like, I don't have any reason to believe that Sebastian might not become, the 5th of these cases in Sumner County. They have multiple cold cases. So I'm just trying to do my best for this particular case.
Well, I think a lot of people, from what I'm gathering, is that are upset that you say that these people are corrupt, and because that's quite an accusation. I mean, whether you feel that way, if that's really how you feel, fine. But to call,
and I wouldn't say it unless I had evidence of corruption. I don't do anything or put out anything unless I can document things. I literally, through family trees, I've created, and I add people who are not really parts of family, like let's say Sheriff Craddock, to my family tree, and create basically an online dossier for each person involved. And I can tell you that in the sheriff's department, there is corruption, not having anything to do with Sebastian's case, but I have evidence of corruption in that. And it is financial.
Are you talking about
it has nothing to do with Sebastian, but I have evidence, and I would never say it unless I had evidence to back it up.
All right,
but I have held back on it because it doesn't have anything to do with Sebastian in particular, but I am confident when I say there is corruption.
Okay. And give me 1 second here. Let me,
sure.
Hold on. Lagging a little bit. Hold on. Okay. So,
this is the thing is, like, I feel, to be quite frank, and I'm a person who's that's why people have, been feeling, I guess, polarized by me, because I am a really passionate person and a caring person. I really do care about what I do, and I care about children. And I think that comes across to people who have, started subscribing to my channel and paying attention to my videos, that I really do my homework, I do my research, and that I am really a caring person and a passionate person. I don't make outrageous accusations that I cannot back up.
So let me,
I don't know. And frankly, I think there's a little bit, forgive me, of toxic positivity going on. I have to say, it's kind of, there's been this, two sides to this thing, and everybody on one side, sort of, there's a group think on one side and a group think on the other side. And I'm not in either camp of group think. I form my own opinions based on my own research.
Well, and I understand that, but let me just say this. Okay, so if there is,
I put out a petition directed on change.org, directed at the Sumner County District Attorney, requesting an investigation into nonfeasance by the Sumner County Sheriff Eric Craddock for failure to enforce child abuse laws in Sumner County.
Okay.
Either willfully or by negligence. Okay. And Tony had somebody call me to demand that I take that down. And I said, I initially had a picture of Sebastian on it. I referenced Sebastian. Sebastian's name was in the title. I said, I will take his picture off. I will change the title, and I will change the wording in the beginning where I said before, Sebastian Rogers is a missing, 15-year-old autistic. He was 15 at the time,
Yeah.
And I changed it to, there is a missing 15-year-old autistic child in Henderson.
And so that's why you've been upset
Tennessee.
with Tony.
And so I agreed to do those things, but I said I will not take it down because this is an issue I'm very passionate about, the abuse of autistic children who are many, many, many times more likely to face abuse at the hands of a parent or caregiver than their neurotypical peers. And if Sebastian were the only child to ever face abuse again in Sumner County, this wouldn't be an issue. But I don't believe he's going to be the last child. And for that reason, and the fact that there were so many CPS cases, and had law enforcement taken some action at all, working hand in hand with CPS, Sebastian may not be missing today.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I don't disagree with a lot of what you just said, and I understand that you and Tony have a riff, or that you were upset with him, or that you don't like him, or
I
don't
wasn't
know.
upset with him at all. He asked me to take it down. I agreed to change it. But right after that, it was, you know, I immediately felt the chill from people who, you know,
I see. Okay, I got what you're saying.
are connected with him.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So, okay. So that's where some of the frustration with him comes from?
Yeah, it was my introduction to, you know, a very, you know, like, this is what I want you to do, and if you don't, you're going to be iced out of things, or me, or you know, there was an immediate chill effect I felt, and I don't feel like I was being paranoid. It was obvious, and you know, I think that's where it started, and it just continued. And frankly, and since then, you know, it wasn't immediate right after, but since then, I've also been of late outspoken about Tony and my feelings about the lack of leadership, direction for people who want to help. And in this case, and questioning the decisions that are being made sometimes, or some decisions or things, actions that could be taken that aren't being taken, and not understanding it. And it's not just me not understanding it; other people don't understand it as well.
Sure.
I mean, for
I
example,
get what you're saying.
a civil case. You know,
I can tell you this, and I will tell you this.
Sure.
That you know, I knew Tony as soon as he came into this case. I've had conversations with Tony. I've had conversations with Seth, and right or wrong, good or bad, Seth and Tony have a relationship that it's everybody thinks of him as this spokesperson for Seth, and he does some of that, but I mean, they're friends.
It's more than that.
And Seth trusts Tony.
Even if you don't acknowledge that, I feel just as, like, you know, I always thought of Seth as my fellow autism parent. That's how I viewed him.
I got you.
Immediately.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know that, you know, just as parents of autistic children, especially when you have a high support needs autistic child, you could be vulnerable to people who prey upon people in vulnerable positions who need help. So I always felt, you know, a concern for him. But, you know, I have seen the support system that he has been for Seth. He literally is his rock. He is his, you know, maybe perhaps the reason he has been able to survive this period. And I am, you know, he's been his friend, his logistics person, his spokesperson when necessary, his sounding board, whatever he needs, support system. And I have been quick to praise and acknowledge, recognize, and, you know, not in any kind of sarcastic way at all, like totally, like,
yeah, no,
I get it, you know.
Yeah, no, I understand that too, and I know that this is obviously something that's near and dear to your heart because of your children and
right.
what you guys go through on a daily basis, and which is not easy. I mean, and I give you all the the respect in the world because it's very tough. Now, and there are people who say, well, to be fair, he was introduced as a spokesperson, and maybe that's how it started. And I get it. People say that. Well, fine. But that's really not what it is now, at least in my opinion, from just the conversations that I've had. I know a lot of people have a negative outlook on him.
I'm not trying to tell anybody to do anything, and I'm not trying to do, the last couple days conversations have been not the same not the same things that I've been talking about. I mean, there's been a lot of things that, have led up to this point, and it's not about Tony. It's about getting justice for Sebastian. And I believe that Seth was on the right track at the time, in the beginning, when he was calling for the FBI. And I think that, in my opinion, that is the best route for this case to go.
Well, I mean, aren't they involved? I mean, they did offer, they are offering a reward. So, I mean, they are involved.
They are, but I'm talking about literally taking over the case, reinvestigating everything from square one.
That can't happen, though.
Unless they would turn it over to them.
I mean, even if they did that, basically, there has to be a federal crime.
No, not the. If the sheriff's department, meaning the sheriff himself, asked for the FBI to take over the case, they could take over the case, but they cannot take over the case in any way unless they are asked to.
Well, what I'm saying is, I don't believe.
No, I'm saying they can, even if it's not a federal crime.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm telling you is, and this happened with the Summer Wells case as well, that people wanted the FBI to be involved. TBI and Sumner County are going to be point on this. If they need the FBI's assistance more, and by the way, what I've understood, that there's a dozen agencies that are involved in this, that no matter what, the FBI is not just going to take over 100%. I mean, I just don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think that it's really something that they do. And
it is something they do if they're asked to do it. It is something they do, and it is something they can do. Sorry, I don't mean to be disagreeable with you, but I'm telling you that I've looked into it, and I've seen other cases where that has happened. But they have to be asked. They cannot, Well,
I mean, if they could take over the case, I just don't see. I've never, without there being some sort of across state lines kidnapping or ransom or something like that. I've never seen the FBI take over anything.
I'll get back to you with cases that.
I would love to hear, because I'm just saying that
it's only at the request of the local authorities. They have to literally ask them, "Can you please take over this case?"
Yeah.
Which most places are hesitant to do for a variety of reasons.
Sure, there's some ego. There's some, there's a lot of that. I totally get that too. But what I'm saying is that I've never, like, this is so far that this isn't like a capital crime, and that there's nothing to suggest that Sebastian, was moved out of state. I mean, if there is, and he was.
No, I'm not suggesting that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, those are
it would only be because they would have to ask for it.
Yeah.
Because frankly, I mean, what's to make us think that, Sebastian won't be, case number 5 or 6 of their current unsolved cases?
Sure. Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know I haven't looked into their unsolved. I mean, every agency has unsolved cases. They all have every agency has a whiteboard where either homicides or missing people. By the way, nobody, if they thought that Sebastian was an actual runaway, they wouldn't be investigating. They don't investigate runaways. It's just not something they do.
Right.
And that's frustrating for a lot of families. However,
The thing is, the thing is just like, ultimately, people have differences of opinion on this case.
Totally,
I'm
of
being
course.
one of them, right? I might be very different than you or a number of people, and certainly a number of people on the Outfoot side, and even different in my thinking or what I feel is best personally for this case, than people who are supportive of Sebastian, Seth, autistic children, and things like that. I don't feel that I've gotten out of my lane in terms of what happened today. I was on my own page, on my own channel, doing my own show, and creators together, much bigger than me, bigger followings than me, came in to my chat in a very unfriendly way. And I continued with my line of thinking, asking questions, and I was accused of things that were very not nice. I literally was said with one creator who I have never said anything disparaging about, so they were going to kick my ass. This is not right. And
somebody said that to you?
After my live today, two creators went on their channels, one of whom I think is in your chat right now, who says they don't get involved with the drama. And after coming into my live with what I believe to be provocative statements to me, intended to provoke and also threaten me, the other person, for which I blocked her, because you can't say you're coming in my chat and you said, I'm going to kick your ass. Okay. I have rules on my chat. You can't threaten people in my chat, including me, number one. And if you're coming in with a group of people simply to be disruptive and then accuse me of, when I ask questions, doing low blows, go on your channel, who these together, the two of these people together have followings. They've been on here much longer. They have followings that are, I don't know, 5 times, 10 times, 20 times bigger than mine, and proceed to do lives, 2 different lives, back to back, on 2 different channels on the green team, attacking me and allowing people in their chat to say really horrible things about me.
Right.
I think was wrong.
Well,
and it was against their own policies about, talking about other creators, staying out of the drama and things like that. It's not right.
It is hard.
And I feel hurt by it.
I understand that. I understand. And I don't have any bad feelings towards you at all. Miss Julie, I promise you.
I hope you don't. I never did anything to you.
I know that. That's what I'm saying.
Other than disagree with people, what have I done? I mean, frankly, I have my own feelings on this, and
Sure.
Sure. I think it's okay. We can coexist with different opinions.
I think that the thought was, from what I understand, that if they weren't, and you may have not liked the way that they came into your chat. I've never known Justin to be a disrespectful person, ever.
Mm-hmm.
I've known him for some time. Just like there are people that like him.
It was pretty shocking to me as well. I mean, I've only been on here a short time, but
that's what I'm saying. And I don't know what he said, but you may have taken it that way, and it may not have been. It could have been in the heat of whatever. I'm not trying to explain away anything that he's done or said or anything like that.
What I think is it was like, look, when you get your analytics and you see the spike come up and, you have this many viewers, and then all of a sudden there's this many going on, like a huge spike. Okay. I got a huge spike at once. It wasn't one person coming in or 2 people coming in. It was a cavalry of people coming in to not in a friendly way. Now, were they all just watching my live? Did somebody text them and say, look at what Julie's talking about, go in? I don't know how that kind of simultaneous, a sudden attendance by people who never attend my lives happened. But it seemed coordinated, frankly, and not friendly. And I think it's wrong. And I think,
can you tell me what he tell me what he
did was
said?
wrong, and I think
am curious.
what they did subsequent to that was wrong.
Can you tell me what he said in the chat that was upsetting to you? I'm curious. I don't.
The first two statements that I saw, okay, I was reading the chat as quickly as I could. The first two statements I saw was, one, there's not a list, okay, which was reference to something I said about somebody who had been dragging me through X all day. And the second thing he said that I read was, it's not some big conspiracy, Julie.
And you felt you took that as like,
well, they were provocative statements, which I responded to.
Mm.
You know, if someone says to you, hey, Josh, it's not some big conspiracy.
I've had people say that to me before many times, actually.
And they come in with another creator, you know, and a group of people, and both creators have 4 times the following that you have. How would you feel?
Probably not great. I mean, I can see your side.
Yeah, and the second one is saying they want to kick my ass at the same time, and coming together, and they're friends, and then they both go on to afterwards to bash me, and allow their chat to bash me, which that was wrong. There, you know, as a creator, I feel responsible not only for everything that's on my page and everything I say, but also for what I allow to happen in my chat. You know, I have moderators for a reason. I have rules that I post in shorts that are up there for anybody to read. What are the rules of my chat? You know, and I've heard expressed, maybe not by one, but by the other, that, you know, we're not going to talk about other creators in our chat.
You felt attacked.
We're going to be friendly. We're going to be this.
Flat out.
And then what I saw today was not that.
Gotcha. I got you. So what you're saying is that you felt attacked. You think that people were ganging up on you, and I have dealt
for disagreeing with strategy, with the actions and inactions of law enforcement, and everything else. You know, my feelings about Detective Carter and how well he's doing his job and things like that. And I, as a person, I'm a nice person. I'm a caring person. I'm a passionate person.
Sure.
I believe in justice.
I'm
here for the right reasons, and I don't think I deserved it.
Totally fair. And I know that you're hurt, and I get it. I understand that. And I'm not telling you to feel that way or the other. But one thing that I did hear, the little bit that I heard you say, was that, you know, you were telling, and I don't know if this happened before or after. Matter of fact, it really doesn't even matter. But what I heard was that you were saying, you know, how long, like with, you know, you're saying Justin's telling everybody, you don't trust them, or, you know, trust this or trust that. And it's hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard to trust people.
I was saying,
And that's a shot at his credibility, though, right?
I'm sorry, just say that one time.
That's a direct shot at his credibility, which, you know, if you don't feel he's credible, then fine. But I mean, that is a direct shot at his credibility. And you could see how somebody might take that the wrong way as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I said, I'd say not as your credibility, but why does everybody have to think like you?
Well, they don't.
But see, I don't, and I was in my own channel, and I don't agree. Mm-hmm. I didn't bring it to his channel.
I got you. Yeah.
It's not fair. It's not right. I'm sorry. And frankly, it was it was not nice, and I'm a sensitive person.
And I think that's, and Miss Julie, I think that's where a lot of this boils down to, and is that this is such a sensitive subject, and people have, right or wrong, are so emotionally invested in this case, and it's driving people. It's driving people up walls. People are fighting every single day about it, and
and believe me, I ignore. Listen, I don't know if you watch any of the clip channels or people who do this stuff.
I try not to.
I mean, have you seen the cartoons? Have you seen what SF has put out about me?
I haven't.
Have you
no,
seen
I don't like him either.
The hate channels. I mean, I'm literally being,
you're being mocked,
crucified by them every day, and I don't even bother with them. I don't care what they say. It's their opinion, But
let me see. Smiley just wanted to.
I haven't felt attacked.
Smiley, I'm not reading that.
Inside of my own chat, inside of my own channel, like this, right? Ever before, at this level, I mean, maybe people don't recognize, that they have, they're in a stronger position than I am, right? You say, hey, everybody,
sure,
or something like that, and let's talk about it now. I'm going to go into somebody else's page, who's having a chat, didn't mention either of the creators' names who came into my chat. They were not in the discussion whatsoever.
At what point, though, in this, I'm just asking this as honest. At what point, because there's been time. Look, I've disappeared from YouTube many times because it becomes just too much, and it's just an everyday thing. At what point? I mean, is this bad? Like negative? Is this stuff having a negative effect on your personal life? Like
my mental health, as people are asserting
that too.
No. Yeah, I would say this. Look, people haven't followed me that long, but I said, please don't take my tears for weakness. It is just who I am. It's just me. I'm sorry. I cry a lot, but it doesn't mean that I give up, and it doesn't mean that I can't keep going. And it's I tell people, let me worry about me.
Well, I mean, you absolutely are the one that's in charge of you, but at the same time, I saw you.
Listen, why is it wrong for me to react when people come into my lane, attack me? I defend myself, and they go on to their larger channels and continue the attack and allow things that I've never seen them allow on any other creator. Yeah. What have I done to deserve this type of treatment? Honestly, it's wrong. I'm sorry, it's wrong. What happened today was wrong. And I understand. I'm not asking for everybody to agree with me or to follow me or to come, to subscribe to me and everything like that. You don't have to subscribe to my channel. You don't have to watch my lives.
Sure.
You don't have to do any of that. I'm entitled to my opinion, and I'm sorry that you don't like it, but it's not this. And nothing I said today, you mentioned Justin would have been said had he not come in with a group of people who were attacking me, himself included. Not necessarily an attack, but being provocative and coming in with other people who were more than provocative, literally threatening.
Well, I've had.
I mean, what outcome do you expect and I think I held it together pretty good in asking the questions that I wanted to ask. I didn't attack back, although he said I gave him a low blow. I'm not sure what that was about, because I said, why do we have to trust? You're telling everybody, I think I said, because you're telling everybody to trust that we should trust,
Yeah.
That's not enough reason, If Josh, if I told you to trust, you don't have to trust. You told me to trust, I don't have to trust. You know what I mean?
Of course not.
It's for everybody to decide for themselves. I don't trust that Detective Carter is doing a great job. I think that he could be overwhelmed with the amount of responsibility that he has and the lack of resources.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could be right there. I don't know. I haven't delved into that much, and look, I get a lot of what you're saying. Some of it I agree with, some of it I don't. Like I said, I got no bad feelings towards you. I know how I feel about Justin. I like the guy. I don't think
I've liked him too. I've defended him. I've been friendly. I've been kind. I've been nice. I've
like
tried
Smiley
to develop
too.
a relationship, and I mean, I've tried to develop relationships with all people, and I have been. I felt very iced out from a lot of people, because I think there's this thing where, like, it's a very grade school thing where, if you're talking to this person, let's say Tony and Seth, that and Tony is not happy with me, therefore, don't show anybody that you're really friendly with me or anything like that. I mean, it's just like silly, and it's not, and maybe it's not silly, it's your friend, you're loyal, that's fine. But I don't think I'm being unreasonable. I mean, I really don't. I don't think it's good advice, personally, that a parent who is still not cleared, right, should be talking to police or doing interviews without an attorney there with them all the time. You could still give the police evidence, but you're putting yourself at risk. And if people who are in an advisory position to you are not giving you that good advice about protecting yourself from possible prosecution for God knows what, if there is bias, let's say, I mean, the history of this 1 year is that for half of it, the law enforcement treated Seth like crap.
Okay. I mean, I get it. I get that. Yeah. And, Julie, like you said earlier, let me worry about me. I think you got to let Seth worry about Seth.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. I mean, he's
listen,
a grown man.
He's a grown adult. I'm not telling him anything.
I know that.
But I do, when I see people who perhaps are in a position where I think they're not giving the best advice. I mean,
you can say that out loud. I mean, you're allowed
who
to say
am I
that.
not allowed to criticize? I never criticize Seth. I never, ever, 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 ever criticize Seth. Seth is off limits, in my opinion, for criticism. He is a victim in this. He is in the worst possible position that any parent could, in their worst nightmare, could imagine. He's vulnerable. I see him as vulnerable. That's all. I'm not saying he's not an adult. I just feel, and, are his advisors also off limits? I mean, I'm asking you.
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think...
Should it be that his advisors are off limits as well?
It doesn't sound like anybody's off limits these days, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that there's a lot of people that don't like Seth, and they don't like Tony.
Well, I'm not one of them.
Well, I understand. But there's a lot of people that don't like Tony, okay? And there's very rarely do you see people that are like, hey, I like Seth, but I don't like Tony. But I mean, I'm sure that happens. And frankly, it doesn't matter who we like or dislike. I mean, the end goal is if you support Seth, or by the way, and I want to say this too, because nobody's been arrested, nobody's been charged with anything, and my prayers to Katie and Chris as well, and to Seth, and I hope that there is some miraculous thing, some miracle that happens. That's my hope.
I pray as well.
And I that's the hope. All this other stuff to me,
as a matter of fact,
is feckless.
I have extended an olive branch multiple times in multiple ways to try to get Seth and Tony to talk to me. The first initiation to them was through Jay from Crime Time Buzz, who Tony had called me to tell me to take my petition down. And after that, I went to Jay and I said, I would like to talk to them. Would they talk to me about it? They didn't want to talk to me about it. Okay. I said, I'll make these changes. But afterwards, I said, can you ask them if they would pray with me? I'm a religious person. And I said, this was for privately. I said, to make them more comfortable, Jay, you can be there, me, you, just to pray, not to say anything, not to discuss anything, just to show them that my heart is in the right place, that I'm not here to I'm not here to hurt anybody.
I understand that.
That was rebuffed. And then with 2 other channels, I have tried to reach out, never responded to. And that's fine. They don't have to talk to me. And frankly, it's like, if it's not comfortable for Seth, yeah, I totally get it. But I didn't come in to hurt anybody at all.
Fair enough.
And I didn't come in with an agenda about Tony at all. These are things that I have become frustrated with over time.
Yeah. No, I understand. And it sounds like you've had a terrible day as well.
I really have.
I understand that. I appreciate you calling. I appreciate you calling in and talking.
I'm a lot of things. I mean, obviously, I'm an emotional person, and I'm a parent. But I have other. I'm a good researcher. I'm a talented. I try to make my lives fun. I'm funny. If you talk to people who are probably in your chat who have seen me be silly and funny,
there are people that like you,
and write songs. I don't get embarrassed easily. I don't care if I look silly, put on costumes and do imitations and things like that. I mean, I entertain as much as I talk about, this. I'm sort of, I let people into my life about me personally, about my family, about my child. So
yeah, and that's gonna get.
I don't fit in the box. Easily. I'm not talking about it in a distanced way. I'm not a true crime creator. I am interested in true crime. I am writing a book that is going to be in the true crime genre. It's going to be listed right there with true crime and mafia history. I am investigating the false confessions of the torso killer and Sebastian Rogers.
There you go. Well,
and I am an autism parent activist. I fight for laws to help families affected with children, specifically high support needs, intellectually disabled children. So I'm a pretty well-rounded person. I've got a lot of aspects to me. And
look, Ms. Gillette,
I like to think that none of them are intentionally harmful, trying to be harmful to people.
I understand.
And I don't think I deserve what I got today.
Well, that may be true, and the reason is when people feel attacked and ganged up on, it's not a good feeling. I've had it happen to me. I get it. I don't know if that's what happened. But what I'm telling you is I appreciate both Smiley and Justin, and I like both of them. And
as did I. I had, if you looked at any of my life,
Well,
I
as
have
Retha says, tomorrow's a
nothing
new
but
day.
praise and thanks for them. Even when Smiley's not talking to me or anything like that, I've always said, like her interview, for example, with Chris and Katie, when they first was a pivotal moment in this case. It changed so much in the way things were viewed from that point on. Her ability to interview, still stay, true to herself and her beliefs without, she wasn't kissing anybody's ass. She, was saying, I don't agree with that, but that's how you are. And yet keep them talking. That's a talent. That's a real talent. I never could do in a million years what Smiley was able to do with them. Believe me, they would have hung up the phone on me in 30 seconds.
So basically what happened today, and let me just sum this up because I've been on over 2 hours now, and that's way
Sure.
too long for me. But let me just sum this up. You felt attacked by two people that you enjoyed and respected.
Absolutely.
And that hurt.
Yeah.
Maybe we can undo that at some point.
Be nice.
We'll talk soon. I appreciate you calling.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. And check out my one video. It's the video that has the least amount of views, the false confessions of the torso killer.
Okay. I sure will.
Thank you.
Bye, Julie.
Nice talking to you and nice meeting you.
It was nice talking and meeting you too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Pretty standard stuff, I feel, I don't like when people feel like that, I don't like when people feel like that. And so, I like everybody. I want everybody to get along. That's it. Sometimes people just need to talk, be heard, whether you agree with them or not. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes people, everybody's different. I like you, Justin. I like everybody. You guys are all good. That's funny. Yeah, good for. She was very respectful. I got no issues with her or with. Ultimately, Seth needs to do what is best for Seth, and I get people. Oh my God, we met a goal. I've never set a goal before. I can't believe that. Thank you guys. I need to hold on. Let me. Sorry, I just got caught up. Let me see here. After the P story, everything went haywire. Josh, thanks for being the healer. Well, I'm trying. I don't know if I healed anything, but I hope she feels better. I'm not a mean-spirited person, and I don't want her to, feel that way and ganged up on. But I'm not saying that's what happened, but whether it happened or not, if that's how she feels, then that's how she feels. I don't think that she's some like evil person. There's some really evil people on YouTube. Some really evil people. And I just don't think she's one of them. Yeah, okay, she blocked them. Justin, are your feelings? I don't think your feelings are like destroyed, are they? Things happen, Let's help Josh meet Kelsey. Thank you so much. Baby kisses. I appreciate that. We did. We met our goal. That was, I've never had that happen. I've never done it. No, she's not evil. I can tell by having that conversation with her. She's hurt, And I know there are going to be people and I'm not saying, but the whole I've seen people review Miss Julie stuff before, and she's mental, she's this, she's that. And then people have said that about me. They say I'm mental, I'm a jerk, I'm this or that. I don't feel like I'm any of those things. But people do. It's offensive when people say stuff like that, I don't think that you get anywhere by just saying, hey, you're nuts. Justin, you little Justin, I'm healing here. God dang it. Let me heal. Let us heal. We need to bring everybody together. Everybody. Everybody. I'm talking to everybody. Let's all break bread. It's not the longest, but I thought she was nice. It was nice meeting her and talking to her. Sherilyn, thank you so much. And becoming a member. He is a provocateur. He's an exhibitionist. Not everyone. Not everyone. Oh, God. Well, look, I mean, the goal would be to... The goal would be for everybody to get along. I mean, not going to happen, but whatever. I didn't think there was any drama. I mean, I didn't think that was drama personally. Josh, you melt my heart. You're a sweetheart. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's very kind. Let me see. Seth says the goal is to find Sebastian. Just my opinion. I think that that's fair. I think that that's something. I think that's fair. It's cool, Calling Josh next time. I need to vent. Sometimes people need to vent. I'm telling you that I don't find her to be like some wackadoo crazy, because I'm telling you, I watch the clip channels. It's like she's like, they make cartoons about me and they do all that kind of stuff to me. I've had a million things said about me. I've had a million things said to me, about me, behind my back, in front of me. Blah, blah, blah. There are some truly evil people on here. You get me, right? I don't think she's one of them. I really don't. It's just my opinion. I appreciate everybody for being here. I thought I enjoyed the conversation. I know there were people in there that say make it stop. I enjoyed the conversation. We're allowed to talk. Matter of fact, if we just talked more, maybe things would get more things would get accomplished. I don't know. I absolutely would. I don't think she is either. Thank you for making our goal. I appreciate it. Yeah. Now you don't have to be a broke bitch. Kelsey, I'm going to block you in the chat If you keep it up. Evil? I mean, I don't know. We met our goal. Hell yeah, dog. Yeah. I will do it. I'll do it right now. There's nothing stopping me. I'll do it right now. You guys are funny. I did say that. Yeah, I did say that. You know, it's funny that you say that. I do feel like a douche. I'll never do it again. It's not. It's not.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lab After Dark is starting shortly.
Y'all have a good night. Everybody be nice. But great.
Lab After Dark is starting soon. Lab After Dark is starting soon.
Right.
Well, you opened that Pandora's door.
I was actually just sitting down to pee, but whatever, you know.
What's the point in causing any ruckus?
Live After Dark starts now.
I forgot to set our fucking goal for our 50 goal or whatever, but it starts out at $1, okay? Just like it did last time. So if we did 50 of them for $1, that's $50. So, fuck you, Josh.